If you're not bringing in dramatically more clients with AI than you did before, you're missing out on an immense opportunity. And no, it's not that AI can't do it. It's because almost everyone is using it wrong. You can go out and buy the best hammer in the world. It still won't be able to drill round holes. How we use our tools is everything. In the next few minutes, I'll walk through exactly what we're seeing business owners are doing wrong, as well as the exact process we implement to build AI client systems. Hi, I'm Werner. I'm a fractional CFO and certified CPA with over a decade of consulting experience, and I build AI client systems for service businesses. So no courses or coaching, just building systems that rake in clients. All we need is to get more qualified eyes to our offer, given that your offer is validated and actually solid. Now that begs the question, how do we actually get more qualified eyes? Number one is we need more output volume. It's a pure mathematical probability. The more people see your product, the more people see your content, the more people are gonna buy. And number two is gonna be an improvement system. So we need to make sure that our system improves with every single iteration. And we're aiming for a simple 1% improvement on every iteration. And we're gonna do this by creating content, testing it in the market, taking what works, put it back into the system, and take away everything that failed. And by doing this, we're going to become 1% better in every single iteration. Number three is friction reduction. Now, to give you two extremes on the one side, let's say you want to create ad, you want to get more eyeballs into your product. And now you have to get ideas, you have to script it, you have to do competitor analysis, you have to send it to an editor, and there's going to be feedback, and it takes months. It is just painful. Versus pressing that one button and everything's done. Now, of course, that doesn't exist, but we're looking for like a middle point. We just want to make sure we reduce the friction as much as possible. Now, what if there was a system that already existed that helps you create a ridiculous amount of volume, has an improvement system in its framework, and helps reduce friction? You probably guessed it, this is AI. Now, what is the big mistake everyone makes, or at least what we see when we work with our clients? The prevailing wisdom or structure on how you should teach your AI is as follows. You give it a bit of context about you or your business, what you like, what you stand for, all of those fun things. You give it assets. So this is going to be your content, your ads, your tweets, your whatever, just so it can mimic and see how you communicate. What are your mannerisms, your talking style? And then direction. So this is essentially going to be your prompt, like, what do you want from AI? Now, what we see happens so much is people do all three. They spend weeks to months perfecting this whole thing, building this perfect little AI model, and they ask it for output, and it's horrible. Now, they ask it a couple more questions, try to refine it, but it's still subpar. It's around about like 60% of what you would get from a human. Now, this is what so many people are missing. What we need to do is we need to implement a 1% improvement loop. Remember, we all think AI, we are driven to think that AI is this thing with a soul and it has emotions and is impulsive like us. It's not. It's a pure data engine. So understanding that, what we need to do is to give it the initial context, assets, and directions, get output, so whether that's content, your ads or videos, then test it against the market, see what works, push it back into your system, get new output, test it against the market, and repeat and repeat. So that's a 1% improvement, 1% improvement, 1% improvement. So that is how you get a dangerously proficient AI at the level at which no human can compete. And the reason this is so powerful is because over time, it's going to take away what you think and it's going to push in what the market wants. So after a couple of iterations, iteration 4, 5, 6, it's going to have so much data, what works in the market, that you are essentially going to print money with this machine purely based on data. Because instead of waiting for you to tell it what to do or giving your subpar prompts, it's simply going to take the data and feedback it received from the market, what is working in your market, and it's going to create more of that. So hopefully you're starting to see why I get so excited about this. Now, all of that theory is great, but let's do a quick walkthrough. How does it usually look when we build this whole system out for our clients? Welcome inside. So we're currently using GetPoppy AI. Now you can use the multitude of other apps out there. You can get Claude, ChatGPT. There are an unlimited amount of tools. The reason we like GetPoppy AI is, number one, you have access to all the different language models. And the big thing is it's visual. So what we're going to do here is, this is an ad creation board. This is where we create our little ads or statics for our clients. So we're going to train it up on, let's say, the competitors. We're going to train it up on our best performing ads. So again, we're going to create ads. We're going to launch the ads. We're going to see what works best, and we're going to put it back. We're going to improve that whole system, making those 1% incremental improvements. So that's going to be competitors, our current ads, so essentially context or assets. And then context is going to be down here. This is where all the trainings are. How do I write ads? How do I come up with ideas? My talking style. And then, so all of the context that your bot needs to actually do its job. Now, this is where we get ideas. Now, this is very important. We need to isolate the functions. What I see so many people do is they want to get a full video, or they want to get all the ad information from one chat. How we do these separate things, creating an idea, coming up with head and copy, coming up with a static, it's a different skill set. So I would rather create different chats so we can specialize these chats on these specific functions. So to give you an idea, I went into this chat and I just gave it a very vague request. Give me 10 ideas for ads based on the information I connected to this chat. And then it's going to give me all the context, blah, 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 blah. And then a couple of ideas. So let's take one. Why the busiest freelancers are usually the most broke. Pattern interrupt direct to camera. How good is that? If your niche is freelancers and they see like, wow, most freelancers or the busiest freelancers broke because most freelancers work their ass off, then boom, immediately you have a hook. So, and that was based on a 30-second little horrible prompt. So we're going to take the idea, we're going to come back to, we're going to take it over to header and copy. Again, this is a specialized chat that's trained on how to write header and copy. Not ideas, it's a specialized chat. Now when we have that, when we have all the output there, we're going to come over to our static creator. Now, the reason this is so important is 80% of your ads should be statics, because this is when we can test volume. We can test different ad angles, different offers. And once we actually get a couple of angles that work, then we can copy that and then we can create our video script. Of course, you can do everything via video. That's just going to take a lot more resources. Now, to show you how super powerful this is, let's say I have an idea, we went through a whole process, but now I need to think, how are we going to like build this creative? So I can either take things that has worked for me, or what I can do is I can just go to ads, and let's say I like, Dan Henry's ads. So I'm going to okay, so I like this ad. I'm going to take this ad, boom, connect it. I'm going to ask my little chat. All I ask is based on the static I added or I connected to this feed, please redo it in my style, in my offer. And then boom, it came out with these two wonderful little ads, and just see how powerful, or at least how quick this is. We took something, we got a couple of ideas based on validated content. Then we created headers and copy for it. And now it produces already made ads for us in just a couple of minutes. Do you see how powerful this is? Now, of course, if you want to edit this, just take it to Canva and you can break it down to its components and you can edit the text. But just see how powerful this is. You can easily make 30, 40 new ads, take the 10 best in just a couple of hours or even minutes. So once we have that, we've tested a couple of ads, we've seen a couple of angles that work and don't work. We're going to copy it into our video scripter. So this is just one ad that worked well for me. Of course, the context and the training again. And then all I asked it was, based on my static ad I connected, please create a video for 60 seconds. And it immediately gave me a little, so hook, agitate the pain to bring the pain up, mechanism reveal offer, so normal ad. Okay, so just see how powerful this is and how long did this take? Like a couple of minutes. Once we go through this whole process, we get a couple of ads, we get a couple of pre-validated ads, we put it onto meta ads, we see what works, what doesn't, and we refeed the whole system, getting better, getting 1% better on each iteration. And that is the way you get deadly effective output from AI. So why do we see this disproportionate results with our clients? Number one, volume. You're just able to push out so much more volume because all the tedious time-consuming tasks have been taken away. And number two, like we talked about, is the 1% improvement. Every time you have an idea, you push it through the system, you're going to get feedback from the market, you're going to put it back in, and it's going to become 1% better after every iteration, making it immensely powerful over time. Once you get to iteration 4, 5, 6, 7, then it becomes dangerous what AI can do. And number three, it uses data over guessing. That's a big thing that I see with myself. When I create ads, it's a very emotional process. I see a couple of ads that work, I get excited about a feature in my business and I want to sell that, and it doesn't matter. If you want to make money, if you want to bring clients in, you need to talk to their pain points, their language. And the only way you're going to do that with almost 100% accuracy is if you actually get the data, get the feedback, and build a structure so you can speak that language, so you can speak to those pain points. And just a quick note, this works for all content forms. So whether you're an ad, YouTube, IG, content, whatever your little flavor is, it works. The structure is the same. How we build it is a bit differently, but it's going to follow the same first principles. So that's it. And hopefully you see now how immensely powerful AI can be if you structure it correctly. Now, if you want to connect to see if we can build this and work together, or maybe if you just have a couple of questions, there's a link below to my school page if you want to connect or have any questions. So your next steps are to go to my school page and let's build this system for you, or build this yourself. But for the love of everything that is good, this opportunity is probably never going to present itself in our generation. So go out there and build something beautiful. You got this.